Who are we?
We come from all across the country
and go to school in London, Ontario.
We are a team of 50.
We are students, entrepreneurs, leaders.
We are rule breakers, risk takers, dreamers.
We are unapologetically bold.
We ask for forgiveness rather than permission.
We are Rhea, John, Jessica, Christina, and Harleen.
And we are Enactus Western.
But a better question to ask is, why are we?
We don't just create good projects, but great businesses. All of our social enterprises are independently owned and operated by students or alumni of Enactus Western.
Sustainability, transparency, and scalability are at the forefront of ideation. Our vision is to be a thriving platform for social impact at Western.
And this year, we have done exactly that by diverting £1.7 million of food waste, creating nearly $4 million in economic impact for others, directly impacted over 4,200 people, indirectly impacted over 37,000 people, all while generating over $1.7 million in revenue.
You are probably wondering how we got here. At Enactus Western, we like to think a little backwards.
Mobility is taken for granted, but for someone who is dependent upon a $2,500 wheelchair, mobility is expensive.
Due to the high cost of devices, 630,000 Canadians are unable to afford basic human mobility. Many do not qualify for subsidies, and even if they do, the process can take over 6 months.
3 years ago, Enactus Western student Megan Mackay reached out to long-term care facilities and realized that when patients move on, they leave behind their devices, which end up either in storage or landfills. In London alone, over 4,500 devices go into disuse every year.
This was when our team seized the opportunity to take action and launch Roll-Up Solutions. We collect gently used mobility devices from 6 long-term care facilities in London and donate them to people in need. Roll-Up Solutions is privately owned by Enactus Western alumna Megan Mackay, who has left operations of the business in the hands of Enactus Western.
Roll-Up partners with Goodwill Commercial Solutions to refurbish the devices at a cost of $70 each. Every device upcycled creates 3 hours of meaningful employment for vulnerable or underemployed individuals.
We purchased a wheelchair for our community center. It provides a lot of comfort and again the peace of mind.
It provides people an opportunity to have some personal choice in terms of the types of equipment that they find beneficial.
Having that financial accessibility so that it's removing barriers.
And people that are in need of these chairs need their quality of life back now.
Because what you're talking about is not just access to a medical supply or access to a tool, but quite literally, a wheelchair is access to life itself.
This year, we have upcycled 67 wheelchairs and 32 walkers, diverting over 1.14 metric tons of waste, while creating over 300 net new labor hours.
We have provided 23 individuals with affordable mobility devices, saving vulnerable individuals over $55,000. In particular, we shipped 20 wheelchairs to a remote community in Northern Ontario, helping a woman who has been in the same wheelchair for over 30 years.
Roll-Up has also received accolades, being awarded the Pillar Nonprofit Community Collaboration Award out of over 600 nonprofit organizations in southwestern Ontario.
The workplace is changing at such a pace that education can't keep up. Experiencing this disconnect ourselves, we launched Enactus Hacks, a tech hackathon which gives students the opportunity to learn technical skills and gain business experience in one fast-paced event.
Groups were evenly split between STEM and non-STEM majors to create diverse teams, similar to the workforce. They were challenged to make a feasible idea that could make the world a better place.
In our first year of operations, we were able to generate immediate impact. We had over 120 attendees from 4 different universities.
Furthermore, we bridged the gender gap in hackathons with 41% female attendance compared to the meager 21% average of other hackathons. Enactus Hacks produced 20 new project ideas, many of which reported continuing to work on the idea afterward.
Enactus Western sees the potential of our social entrepreneurs. We aren't just investing in the idea, but also in scaling the business and creating impact.
A great example of this is with Food Fund. Western student Divi Oja launched the business in 2017 and joined Enactus Western in 2018. He owns and operates Food Fund as a partner of Enactus Western.
Every year, Canadians waste 58% of the food that is produced. That's over 5 billion pounds of food waste and over $49 billion of economic loss.
Food that is considered imperfect or is overstocked gets rejected by most grocers, and farmers' bottom lines are directly impacted. Not only do they lose out on revenue, but it can cost a farmer $50,000 a year to dispose of unsold produce.
Working with these farmers, Food Fund developed a weekly subscription service that bundles imperfect produce from local farmers and delivers it to the customer's door. Customers can customize their boxes on a weekly basis with a selection of 20 to 30 choices of fruits and vegetables that vary by season.
Enactus Western members join Divvy to work on Food Fund's marketing and volunteer their time to make deliveries.
When it was time to go to market, Divvy discovered another massive issue: food insecurity. In Ontario, nearly 12% of the population is considered food insecure.
With this in mind, Food Fund prices produce at nearly half the price of a traditional grocery store. At Food Fund, a small box of produce is just $10, while Walmart's delivery services would charge $17.53 before tax, delivery, and tip, all of which is included at Food Fund.
Understanding that from our grocery purchase we could make a difference.
And it's honestly brought our house together.
Students started, supports farmers, reduces waste, delivered to my door, every reason to love Food Fund.
While operating, Food Fund also wanted to maintain its zero waste mission with the food that is ordered from farmers. That's why Food Fund is partnered with London Food Bank, which serves over 25,000 people to donate any excess food. With this model, Food Fund was no longer just a solution to food waste, but also food insecurity.
This success helped Food Fund take home first place in the TELUS Pitch Entrepreneurship Competition, winning $100,000 for its innovative business plan. At the pitch, Food Fund caught the eye of renowned entrepreneur Arlene Dickinson.
You know, Food Fund is doing something I think that is really on trend. They're getting rid of kind of this notion that food has to look perfect in order to be nutritionally beneficial. And they understand that not everybody, can afford to buy the perfect piece of fruit. And not only that the perfect piece of fruit is not necessarily any better than a damaged piece of fruit. And vegetables. So they've figured that out, and they have understood that subscription services and farmers and the ability to connect to farmlands and create, get produce right off the farm and into the hands of consumers is something that people care about right now. So.
To take Food Fund to the next level in 2020, Food Fund was planning a geographic expansion to the Kitchener-Waterloo area.
But then, the world changed. This was the moment. No more business as usual.
The world was turned upside down, but this was a time to step up, now more than ever.
Metrics like revenue, margins, and savings wouldn't do justice to the action that was required.
Things weren't normal anymore. It was time for business unusual.
Though Food Fund couldn't accomplish the intended geographic expansion, the service expanded in other ways, as it was clear that Food Fund is needed now more than ever.
As an essential business, Food Fund remains committed to its model of low pricing despite prices of produce being raised, to accommodate the financial hardships and instability being faced by many of the households it serves.
Before all of this, Food Fund had under 20 employees. Despite the downturn, Food Fund now has 44 employees, all of whom can continue to earn a living during the crisis. The demand for Food Fund subscription-based delivery services have exploded. The subscription service went from just over 1,000 subscribers at the end of February to now over 4,000 subscriber households.
Through its services, Food Fund has diverted over 1.1 million pounds of food from landfills. At the same time, Food Fund has generated nearly $1.7 million in revenue.
In order to keep up with demand, Food Fund has partnered with over 60 new farms this year, tripling the impact and bringing the total to 90 farms.
By working with these farms, Food Fund has increased their revenue by over $800,000 and reduced their waste disposal costs by $3 million. This year, Food Fund added $4 million to farmers' bottom lines.
Enactus Western students have developed a full 10-week food literacy curriculum targeting elementary school students in order to educate them on meal planning, nutrition, and eliminating waste.
To help farmers increase their bottom line even more, Food Fund is working with farmers to develop a predictive analytical tool which will help growers maximize their crop yields.
This year, Enactus Western has also partnered with Every Child Now, a nonprofit organization that seeks to empower youth and fight for children's rights. With 4,000 elementary schools being shut down in Ontario, students have experienced a complete disruption of their learning.
Together, our organizations have launched Social Educating to create an online tutoring platform for elementary school students. We are providing homework help as a way to bridge the gap in online learning and give kids a fighting chance for a bright future.
Social Educating began operating in the first week of May in Canada and will soon be launching in Bermuda and the UAE in order to educate children across the globe.
COVID-19 may have taken the world by surprise, changing life as we knew it. But it grounded us, brought us back to the basics, and showed us what it truly means to make an impact.
By feeding over 4,000 households,
Bringing mobility into the lives of 23 people.
Diverting over 1.7 million pounds of waste.
Adding back nearly $4 million to farmers' bottom lines.
Contributing over 6,300 volunteer hours.
creating 24 jobs in a time of economic uncertainty.
And improving the lives of almost 42,000 people.
So, what is impact?
Impact is about the people.
It's about people helping people.
It's about seeing opportunities and taking action.
Impact is about striving to make mobility affordable for all.
Impact is about believing that social entrepreneurs have the potential to change the world.
Impact is about bridging gaps between entrepreneurship and rapidly changing technology.
Impact is about doing our part to eliminate food waste and address food insecurity.
Impact is about giving kids a fighting chance for a brighter future.
Impact is Enactus Western.